Welcome back to Southern Indiana Now. Super excited to talk to one of my old friends, Bud Shippee. Of course, he is a legend in Southern Indiana, known for his sports broadcasting voice. So you're probably going to recognize the voice before you might recognize the face. I don't know. It depends on, you've been around a lot of games, right, Bud?
I sure have. I'm a pleasure to be with you this morning.
Yeah, excited to have you. Of course, you had well over 40 years of broadcasting in Southern Indiana. So we're going to talk about that. But that's a lot of games.
Yes, it really was. And when we started doing all of the girls' games, that sure made a basketball season really, really challenging and really busy.
Yeah. But tell me why it's so important to have that connection to Southern Indiana sports.
Well, Southern Indiana is a little different than the rest of the state in that we're made up of smaller communities, and I think there's a much more a fabric of togetherness in those communities that makes them a little bit different than some of the larger communities. And high school sports from the very beginning, if you want to date back all the way to the 50s and 60s, or maybe even before my time, obviously, it has been an important part of the communities, and it has just continued that way. And you can look at, even the most recent this year, the smaller schools, that it's such a community thing. It brings everybody together. We were fortunate in Seymour. We had the Class A Semi-State this year, and we had Orleans, and we had Clay City, and we had Hauser, and those are three small schools. But the gym has 7,000 people there because those communities are so tightly knit. Yeah. And sports has just been a huge part of those communities for years.
Well, now Orleans just celebrated a big win.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
That's exciting. Like you mentioned, the whole community gets involved, and that's super fun to be a part of that.
It really is, and you could tell it. I mean, there are so many small communities like that in Southern Indiana, whether you want to go down to where Borden won a girls' state championship this year. Lanesville won multiple state championships. Those small schools, you go to southwestern Indiana with the Bar Reeves and Lagodes and Orleans that we've talked about. And those small communities are just so special, and sports has been such a big part of those communities in their lives.
Absolutely. So in your over 40 years of broadcasting, that's a lot of high school sports games. This is going to be a super tough question for you. But tell me some of the most memorable, it can be any game, any county that you remember. You're like, wow, I can't believe we just saw a game like that. I'm sure several come to mind.
There are numerous ones. And my very first state championship game was in 1977. And it was teams that had really no connection to Southern Indiana, but it was the days of single class when all local radio stations went all the way through the state championship game. And it was East Chicago, Washington, and Carmel. And Mark Herman, who ended up being an NFL quarterback, led Carmel to the state championship. The game went overtime, and I'd always wanted to do something like that. And it was at Market Square Arena at the time, and it was just such a thrill. But then you look ahead, and obviously, the Damon Bailey game at the Hoosier Dome, was still the national record for attendance for a high school game, was an incredible game broadcast, which went down to the final seconds. We had some different games like that, and when Damon Bailey played Pat Graham, the two Mr. Basketballs in a regional game at Seymour, and those games are just so much fun, and that's when you get crowds of 8 and 10, and you get to the Hoosier Dome, and you're talking about 40,000 people. The atmosphere is incredible. So there's been a lot of really good games, so many that have come down to last-second baskets, and a New Albany-Warren Central Semi-State game at Seymour not long a couple of years ago that was decided on a buzzer beater. There's just so many games. It's hard to just pick one game, but if I had to pick one game that I found the most exciting, it was with Plymouth playing Gary Roosevelt in the state championship game when Scott Skiles was playing, and it went double overtime, and it's still a legendary state championship game. It's so much fun.
But just one more question. I know that when you show up at a game on Friday night, and maybe for people that aren't from the area in Southern Indiana, or maybe they haven't been to a game in a while, what is the vibe like? Why is it so fun? Why is Friday Night Lights called Friday Night Lights? I mean, tell me about what people can expect. Why is it so important to communities?
There are so many things that go into it. The ambiance. I mean, just the you go in, you smell the popcorn popping, you hear the pep band playing, you see the cheerleaders, and then you see the teams coming out, and you see the fans get excited, and it's the whole atmosphere that is combined into one thing, and it can be an amazing thing when you have a really important game and a great game with two really good teams, and the fan support that Southern Indiana has always been known for. It just makes for such a great atmosphere, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of things that are similar to that. I mean,
It's just special.
there's so many opportunities for people to do things, but that is a unique thing in that you can support the young people of your community, whether it's the boys or the girls, and it just makes such a family atmosphere. So it's just fun.
Yeah. So regardless of what sport it is, it can be football, the basketball, the baseball, softball, whatever the case is, just make sure you're supporting your team. And that's what we're all about here in Southern Indiana. Thanks, Bud, for being part of Southern Indiana Now. We'll be back.
Crossroads Acoustic Fest returns to downtown Seymour April 25th and 26th. It's a weekend filled with talented musicians from all over the world, including Ben Chapman, Sean McConnell, and Meg McCree, plus regional musicians Alex Williams, Jason Wilbur, and the Tillers. Performances take place in multiple downtown listening rooms, and your weekend pass gives you access to all the songs and all the stories. Delicious food and beer will be available all weekend. Check out the entire 2025 lineup and get your tickets at crossroadsacousticfest.com.
And welcome back to Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask, and we're honored to have Lew Freedman with us with the Seymour Tribune. We're talking all things how sports has affected Southern Indiana and all the things that go along with that. So, Lew, give us a little bit about your background, and also we can talk about some of those fun sporting events in Southern Indiana.
I grew up in Boston, which meant that I was a professional sports team follower because there's no dominant team like there is in Indiana, where you have the allegiances to the colleges, whereas Indiana, Purdue, and lesser schools on the horizon. But so it was very oriented, and the Boston Celtics winning championships every year made me a basketball fan, which of course is a good fit for Indiana.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about your career in sports journalism here in Southern Indiana. Tell me about some of the games that have kind of stuck out in your mind as memorable moments and shining stars.
Well, it's funny because I've covered a lot of different things, and the Indianapolis 500 stands out actually beyond anything else, which is, of course, the signature sport and the signature event of Indiana.
Right.
And we are coming up on it very shortly in May. So it was kind of a dream almost because I started watching it on television when I was 12 years old.
That's fun.
And and wherever I was in the country at any given time, whatever the time difference, I would wake up in the morning to watch it.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I know high school sports is very important to Southern Indiana. Can you share some of your good, fun moments that you've covered with some local games or even any of our teams from Southern Indiana?
Well, one of the greatest high school football games I ever saw was about 3 or 4 years ago here. It was the annual Seymour Brownstown game. Of course, it had a huge crowd. And the way the game went, it was a situation where it seemed to be clinched. And who was winning.
I remember that, yes.
Over and over, and it kept changing in the last few minutes, adding the amount of suspense, to capacity crowd. And it was just astonishing how it went back and forth right down to the last seconds. So anytime you see a game like that, that's special.
Absolutely. Tell me about when looking for stories to report in Southern Indiana. What are some things that you look for? And tell me one of the more involved stories or, cases or things like that you've had to report on.
Well, I've been very fortunate the last couple of years because they were sort of almost once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Certainly, it's kind of hitting me. I mean, I follow for the Seymour paper, I cover Indiana football and basketball, and all of a sudden, they had the best football team in the history of IU after being the losingest football team in Division I sports. And all of a sudden, we have greatness out of nowhere, and the stadium is packed. So that was kind of fun to be, watching that unfold. And in the same year, we got the Indiana Fever drafting Caitlin Clark, who became a spectacular phenomenon. I mean, it's not like there haven't been great women's basketball players in the past.
Right.
But the way the season unfolded for the Fever and for her and the amount of attention was astonishing.
Yeah.
Day in and day out.
I love that. That's definitely been a good time to be part of the journalism crowd to be able to cover some of those stories and connections. So, some advice for maybe some people that aren't from the area, or if you have somebody that's young wanting to break into sports journalism, what's the best path for them, and how can they get connected?
Well, it's changed over the years. Certainly, when I was younger, I mean, I had a plan, a loose plan, which was work my way up from a small newspaper to a bigger newspaper to the biggest of all newspapers. But the way the newspaper world has changed in recent years, my recommendation would be to stress versatility and obviously digital focus.
Yes.
Learn how to write and work and study good writers, but also become a multimedia person.
I love it. Well, Lew has a new book coming out. Lew, can you tell everybody the title of that and where they can find that soon?
Well, coming soon, it'll be Caitlin Clark and Revolution in Women's Basketball.
All right.
Which covers quite a bit of history beyond Caitlin Clark.
All right.
And that should be coming out in weeks when the WNBA season starts.
That's awesome. Okay, fantastic. Well, you can look for that book, and if you like to connect with Lew, you can find him there at the Seymour Tribune, and you can connect with him. And if you have some questions about your path to journalism, whatever that might look like, he would also be a great resource for that. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Crossroads Acoustic Fest returns to downtown Seymour April 25th and 26th. It's a weekend filled with talented musicians from all over the world, including Ben Chapman, Sean McConnell, and Meg McCree, plus regional musicians Alex Williams, Jason Wilbur, and the Tillers. Performances take place in multiple downtown listening rooms, and your weekend pass gives you access to all the songs and all the stories. Delicious food and beer will be available all weekend. Check out the entire 2025 lineup and get your tickets at crossroadsacousticfest.com.
I'm Kelly Trask, back for Southern Indiana Now. Of course, we're excited to launch into our next segment, Hoosier Happenings. We've got someone with us today. No grass is growing underneath her feet, literally, because she's mostly on a court. Let's talk to Nancy Sterling. She's with the Brownstown Pickleball Association. Nancy, first of all, thanks for joining us today. Brownstown, of course, located in Jackson County in Southern Indiana. So someone new to the area or may not know where that is. You guys, looks like, of course, behind us here, we've got a big Pickleball in the Park event happening. And so let's talk about the sport of pickleball and how it has gained in popularity.
Oh my, that's a tough question. People just really caught on to the game. They love it. They get out. It's such a social game, for one thing. They get out. They make a lot of friends. And to start with, it's more laughter than anything. It honestly is, because you hit shots. It's like, wow, how did I hit that? Or, wow, I shouldn't have missed this one. But anybody can play it. You don't have to be an athlete.
Yeah.
You do not have to be an athlete.
Yeah, it's no longer a retirement sport, right?
No, it is not.
All right.
It is not a retirement sport. I mean, I'm seeing kids 8 and 10 years old in tournaments.
Wow.
After we built the courts, let me back up just a little bit. With our organization, we started in September of 23, the Brownstown Pickleball Association. And we weren't a nonprofit then, but we are now. And we began with 10 of us, and we all had that passion for pickleball, and we wanted to grow it in the community. And what better way than to build pickleball courts? So that's what we took on, a project to build the pickleball court. We raised $120,000 in less than 6 months.
Wow.
And that was from individuals, businesses. We did get a couple grants, and other nonprofits. So everybody bought into what we wanted to do, which was great, because our community needed that. We needed something.
Yeah, I love it.
Super.
Well, let's talk about pickleball in the park. Where is it? How people can get connected? All the fun stuff.
Okay, well, this was what we started with to show people where it was going to be located at. Actually, you can't see it from there, but right here is where it's actually located at, and this is the Brownstown Park. So we were able to build there, and it has 2 entrances into the park. In order to get involved in pickleball, it's a matter of, for us, it's getting in, it's getting into a clinic. We have put on 21 clinics now.
Okay.
And that is since our courts were actually built in October 24. So, September of 24, because we actually raised the funds in less than a year and got everything going and got the courts done. So, the clinics really help. They're very low key. Being a beginner, you learn how to hold the paddle. You learn how to hit the ball. We are not professionals, so we tell you what we've learned. We do know the rules. We know how to score. So it's just a matter of having enough nerve to come on a pickleball court. Bring a friend. You don't have to.
Right.
We teamed up with the Boys and Girls Club, and we put 10 on during the winter here at the Boys and Girls Club, and then we do the others. We will do another series of 10 more this summer at the park.
I love that.
And these are free, so they're free to anyone.
Okay. So if you'd like to get connected, where can they find you online or social media? What's the best way to find you to sign up?
Brownstown Pickleball Association.
Okay. Making it pretty simple.
And make sure you look for Brownstown, Indiana, because there is a Brownstown, Michigan.
Okay.
You have pickleball in
We
Michigan.
want to keep you in Indiana. That is for sure. All right. You can, of course, ask Nancy or anybody else associated with the Brownstown Pickleball team, and you can get connected with that. And if there's any special advice or takeaways you want to tell people before they get started?
One thing I can say is if you are interested, get on YouTube. YouTube has a lot of videos that really show what we will teach you. But it's kind of interesting because they all have different takes and different ways to teach. But the main thing is just getting out there. One thing that might scare the bejeebies out of you is if you watch professionals. We don't play like that. It's a totally different game. So don't let that scare you.
Right.
Come to the courts, and the pickleball community is a very welcoming community. And again, like I said, you don't have to be an athlete. Show up. Show up. Talk to a neighbor.
Yeah.
If they're playing, they'll show you how to play.
It's a great date night.
Yes, or just come with a paddle or not a paddle. Somebody always has an extra paddle in their bag.
There you go. Just show up. We just want you to get moving.
Up. That's right.
All right. If you'd like to get involved into the Brownstown Pickleball Association, you can do that. And of course, it's open to everyone. You can be from just Southern Indiana. You can get connected there. That does give you a home for pickleball.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll be back here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Crossroads Acoustic Fest returns to downtown Seymour April 25th and 26th. It's a weekend filled with talented musicians from all over the world, including Ben Chapman, Sean McConnell, and Meg McCree, plus regional musicians Alex Williams, Jason Wilbur, and the Tillers. Performances take place in multiple downtown listening rooms, and your weekend pass gives you access to all the songs and all the stories. Delicious food and beer will be available all weekend. Check out the entire 2025 lineup and get your tickets at crossroadsacousticfest.com.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now as part of our Who's Your Good News segment. We want to welcome Owen Heritage with the Community Music Alliance from New Albany, which is in Floyd County, Indiana. Thanks so much for making the trip today. And Owen, we're so excited to talk with you about the Community Music Alliance. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is and how your organization works with the Southern Indiana area?
Sure, yeah. So we're a non-profit. We're a 501c3. And our goal as an organization is to make sure that everybody has access to music.
Okay.
Music lessons, for instance.
Okay.
And other things. So our big number one rule is we never charge for any of our services.
Oh, wow.
So
that's incredible.
That way money is never an option because it can be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
We get single parents come that might have 4 kids that all want to take lessons. If they were to go commercially, that would be like $500 a month.
Yeah, it sure would. So tell me how the Community Music Alliance, tell me kind of what the scope of what you do and how you can connect parents, and tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so our biggest program is the music classes. We currently have about 250 students in that. And it's not just, we're based in New Albany, but it's not just for people in New Albany. Anyone that can make the drive to us, they're welcome to take part. So typically we'll get people from about a half an hour drive radius seems to be the norm. So people come over from Lowville, they've come down from Scottsburg even, Corydon.
Yeah, makes sense. What type of lessons are students having access to through Community Music Alliance?
So we give classes in about 12 different instruments, I think.
Okay.
We have keyboard, guitar, drums, singing, violin, cello, dulcimer, ukulele, a couple of other things. So there's plenty of choice.
I love that.
And that's kind of one of the nice things about it is that you can try out different instruments without it costing you an arm and a leg. We also provide an instrument for people to use at no charge.
Okay.
So they can take one home, try it out, and after, a couple of months, they don't like it, they can try something else.
Oh my goodness, that's saving parents a lot of time and money for sure. Because a lot of kids may start something and they're like, I think I want to play the viola now. So, yeah.
Yep, and instruments are not cheap.
Yeah, no. So that sounds like, so where are you located? Where are the lessons taught? And how can people get connected?
We are located in downtown New Albany. It's right next to the brand new police station. It's kind of diagonally across the street from the library.
Okay.
So it's right off the interstate. People can find out about us at our website, communitymusic.com.
Okay.
That's how we take up the sign-ups for
I love it.
the classes and all our other programs. You want me quickly to mention some of the other things
Sure.
we do?
Yeah.
So Lessons is our biggest program, but we also have a recording studio that's free to use. It comes with a producer and everything.
Wow.
So people can come in and walk out with a finished professional track.
Wow. That's
So-
truly amazing.
We like to get people in there that wouldn't otherwise have the chance to use a professional studio.
Wow.
So
So are you open during the week then or weekends or how does that work?
it's 24/7 because I actually live in the building.
Oh, okay.
It's my house.
Oh, you need music
basically.
lessons at 10 o'clock. It's happening apparently.
If that's what they want to do.
Okay,
Yeah. If the
all right.
students and the teacher all want to do a midnight class, and there was talk
Okay.
about that one time,
Okay.
they can do it.
Yeah.
So it's all by appointment. So when you sign up for a particular program, such as the lessons,
Yeah,
recording
whatever it is.
studio, rehearsal space that we
Okay.
have, all other different things, loads of different things. When you sign up for that, you will get your time to come in, and it can be like I said,
Yeah, for sure. All right. So if an organization or somebody would like to support your group, how can they get connected to you? And I'm sure you're a nonprofit, but how can they work with you on that?
Yeah, so go to our website. It gives you lots of options. You can even donate online right there. We'll take donations of instruments.
Yeah.
We love volunteers because we don't have any paid staff.
Yeah.
So if anyone has even
Okay.
an hour or two that they want to give us,
Yeah.
I don't know, come in and clean the building or clean a
Yeah.
room or something. Anything helps.
Anything helps. And if how many students do you have kind of go through the program maybe in a year's time? What's a guesstimate on that?
Oh, goodness. Not entirely sure. I think in total, we probably had nudging 1,000 students altogether. That have
So you're
come
kind of a
along.
big deal. That's what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
also we have a choir and we have an orchestra.
Oh, okay.
And both of those are designed so that absolutely anybody can join.
Wow. Okay. I love that.
And they give concerts throughout the year as well. All our concerts are free. We have various concert series that we work with different organizations in the area.
Well, that's super fun. If you'd like to get connected with the Community Music Alliance, you can do that. They're, of course, located again in New Albany, which is in Floyd County. But if you can get there, you can have fun and take part in all the different music offerings. Thank you so much, Owen, for being part of the show today. Is there some other things that you want to talk about that want to make sure that people know about Community Music Alliance?
Only that it's our dream one day that we will have community music alliances across the country. So we
Okay.
are looking to
I love that.
expand.
Okay.
Maybe one here in Seymour would be nice.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
seems like
of course, this show covers
great
all of
area.
Southern Indiana. So
Right.
if someone listening does want to start a Community Music Alliance for their town or their community, what do they need to have to get started,
Well,
Owen?
we would love to partner with organizations.
Okay.
Right now, our issues are having enough funding and having enough volunteers.
Yeah. Money and people. And that way it always comes down to.
always the
Yeah.
way. But absolutely. We
Okay.
would love to start second, third, fourth location.
Yeah. All right. So if someone listening, even if they just want to start with a group of, it starts with one person, right? And that's all you need is one person and it can grow from there. Yeah. So do they just get with you? Do they just need some, instruments donated, people to teach? Is that what they need?
Just get with me if they want to work with us.
Okay.
In fact, we have worked with various organizations, like mini projects, like some of the schools, for
Okay.
instance,
Yeah.
some of the other youth organizations.
Would love to see orchestra expand in Southern Indiana and give kids a great opportunity to get exposed to string instruments, woodwinds, that sort of thing. So they can definitely do that. I love that you can get that experience and you don't have to pay. That's phenomenal.
Yep, everything is at no charge. I shouldn't say the word free. It's not free because it does cost us money.
Yeah.
But we don't charge, and we just invite our participants to give back however they
Okay.
can, whether that be making a small donation or doing some fundraising.
Okay.
Or volunteering a little bit.
Okay.
Everybody has their own way to give back.
All right. So again, you can check out their website, Community Music Alliance. You can find them on .com. Of course, you can find them on Google and all the places. We'll be back right here. But that is some Hoosier good news for sure. Definitely getting kiddos and adults alike connected to music. And you can do that in your community if you'd like to set up something. If something's not there, or you're not able to make the Floyd County area, there's definitely a chance to get started. You can get with Owen and their team, and they can get you pointed in the right direction. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask. Lots of events coming up for you in Southern Indiana. Definitely want to check out Easter egg hunts galore. I mean, it is literally, they're everywhere. And one of the ones you don't want to miss, of course, is Geyser Park. That's in Seymour. And that's, of course, with 92.7 and 99.3, along with the city of Seymour. And, of course, you can check that out. And that's presenting sponsor Rose Acre Farm. So don't want to miss that. That's all the action starts at 9 o'clock with the hunt starting sharply at 10. You can get a free photo with the Easter Bunny, courtesy of Walgreens, prizes from Guardian Bikes, and so much more. Definitely going to be thousands and thousands of eggs galore at that event. And also you can check out an adult Easter egg hunt happening at Starlight Distillery April 19th from 10 to 1 at the old Easter egg hunt with the bourbon twist. That's going to be super fun. That's coming up in Borden. And Bob Ross, Happy Little 5K, Clifty Falls State Park there in Madison. And of course, that's going to support tree plantings and other initiatives with Indiana State Park. So that costs us $35 a person. You can check that out online. Reminder to get your tickets for Crossroads Acoustic Fest. Keep it right here to Southern Indiana Now. We'll hear each and every Wednesday with a brand new episode just for you.